ladies and gentlemen. Betrayal, just the word itself, evokes a deep, visceral reaction. It's a word that carries the weight of heartbreak, shattered trust, and confusion. It is a wound inflicted not by the hands of strangers, but by those we let closest to our hearts. But what is betrayal, truly? Is it merely an act of disloyalty, or is it something far more profound? Tonight, let us journey into the depths of betrayal, not as victims, but as seekers of its hidden truths. Betrayal is one of the most painful experiences a person can endure, often leaving behind emotional scars that take years to heal. Yet, if we pause and reflect, we realize that betrayal is more than an act inflicted upon us by another person. It is a mirror. It reflects aspects of our lives, relationships, and selves that we may not have fully acknowledged. This perspective does not diminish the pain, but offers a deeper understanding of betrayal's role in our personal growth. When betrayal occurs, our first instinct is to point fingers. We focus on the person who wronged us, their actions, and the broken trust that now lies in pieces. But betrayal also holds up a mirror to our vulnerabilities. It forces us to confront the expectations we had of the other person. Did we place them on a pedestal? Did we trust blindly without considering their capacity to honor that trust? These questions are not about assigning blame to ourselves, but understanding how we participated in the relationship dynamic. Betrayal often illuminates where we were perhaps too idealistic, too forgiving, or too willing to ignore red flags. This reflection can be deeply uncomfortable. It's easier to label the betrayer as entirely at fault than to consider what the situation reveals about us. But if we embrace the mirror, we begin to see our patterns. We might recognize a tendency to seek validation from others or an inclination to overextend ourselves in relationships. Betrayal becomes an opportunity for self-awareness, a painful but necessary wake-up call to examine how we navigate trust, boundaries, and connection. Another way betrayal acts as a mirror is by revealing what we truly value. When someone betrays us, they shatter something we held dear: trust, loyalty, or love. This loss highlights the importance of those values in our lives. For instance, if we feel devastated by a friend's betrayal, it may underline how much we value loyalty and integrity in our relationships. This realization can guide us in the future, helping us to prioritize connections with people who align with those values. The pain of betrayal becomes a compass, steering us toward more authentic relationships. At the same time, betrayal reflects the humanity of the betrayer. It forces us to grapple with the fact that people are imperfect, flawed, and capable of making choices that hurt others. This is not to excuse their actions, but to acknowledge that betrayal often stems from their own insecurities, fears, or unmet needs. By seeing this reflection, we begin to understand that betrayal is rarely about us, it is about them. Their actions are a projection of their struggles, weaknesses, and inability to honor the trust placed in them. Recognizing this can help us separate the act of betrayal from our sense of self-worth. Betrayal also shines a light on resilience. When someone betrays us, it feels like a personal attack on our identity and worth. But the mirror of betrayal shows us our strength, the ability to confront pain, rebuild trust in ourselves, and move forward despite the hurt. It reveals the depths of our emotional endurance and the capacity to heal. Each time we face betrayal and rise again, we prove to ourselves that we are more resilient than we believed. Furthermore, betrayal encourages us to redefine our boundaries. It shows where our limits were crossed and prompts us to set clearer, firmer boundaries in the future. This act of reflection and adjustment empowers us to take greater control over our lives. It is a reminder that while we cannot control others' actions, we can control how we respond, what we tolerate, and how we protect ourselves moving forward. Lastly, betrayal serves as a mirror for the broader human experience. It reminds us that trust is both beautiful and fragile. The pain of betrayal is universal, yet it is through these shared experiences that we connect with others on a deeper level. We are reminded of the complexity of relationships and the courage it takes to trust again. Betrayal invites us to see ourselves not as victims, but as active participants in the tapestry of human connection, where pain and joy coexist. To see betrayal as a mirror is not to minimize its pain, but to extract its lessons. It allows us to shift from a place of blame to a place of growth. By reflecting on our expectations, values, and boundaries, we transform betrayal into an opportunity for self-awareness and empowerment. The mirror of betrayal may show us what we wish to ignore, but it also shows us what we need to see. And in that reflection lies the potential for profound transformation. Pain is an inescapable part of the human experience. It touches every life in some form, whether physical, emotional, or spiritual. Yet amidst the discomfort and heartache, pain carries a profound purpose. It is not just an adversary to overcome, it is a teacher, one that challenges us, shapes us, and ultimately strengthens us. When we shift our perspective and view pain as a teacher, it transforms from a burden to a catalyst for growth, understanding, and resilience. Pain has a unique way of commanding attention. It strips away the distractions of daily life and brings us face to face with our vulnerabilities. When we experience pain, whether it's the sting of rejection, the grief of loss, or the ache of unfulfilled dreams, it forces us to confront the truths we might otherwise avoid. It asks us to pause and examine our lives more closely. What patterns have led us here? What lessons are we being invited to learn? Pain, in its raw honesty, demands that we look inward. Through this introspection, pain teaches us about our own strength. It reveals the depth of our resilience and the capacity of the human spirit to endure. When we face pain and refuse to let it break us, we uncover reserves of courage we didn't know existed. It is in these moments that we discover the power to rise above adversity, to heal, and to rebuild. Pain becomes the proving ground where we learn that we are far more capable than we believed. Pain also teaches us empathy. Experiencing pain makes us more aware of the struggles of others. It opens our hearts to compassion, helping us connect with people on a deeper level. When we have walked through the fire, we are better equipped to support others who are doing the same. Pain reminds us of our shared humanity, bridging divides and fostering understanding. In this way, it becomes a tool for building stronger relationships and creating a more compassionate world. In addition to fostering empathy, pain challenges our perspective. It disrupts our sense of normalcy and forces us to question the beliefs and assumptions we hold. For instance, a significant setback or failure may lead us to reevaluate what success truly means. Pain shakes us out of complacency and invites us to see life through a new lens. This shift in perspective often leads to profound personal growth as we gain clarity about our values, priorities, and purpose. And pain is also a motivator for change. It has a way of highlighting areas in our lives that need attention or transformation. For example, the pain of a strained relationship might prompt us to improve communication, establish healthier boundaries, or even let go of toxic connections. The discomfort of being stuck in a job we dislike might inspire us to pursue a career that aligns with our passions. Pain, in this sense, becomes a signal, a call to action that nudges us toward a better version of ourselves. Moreover, pain fosters gratitude. While this might seem counterintuitive, it is often through painful experiences that we come to appreciate the beauty and joy in life. When we endure hardship, we gain a deeper appreciation for moments of peace, love, and connection. Pain reminds us not to take these moments for granted, teaching us to find gratitude even in the smallest blessings. This gratitude, in turn, brings a sense of richness and meaning to our lives. Pain's lessons are not always immediate. Sometimes it takes time and distance to fully understand what pain has taught us. In the midst of suffering, it can be difficult to see anything beyond the hurt. But as we heal and reflect, we begin to recognize the growth that pain has sparked. We see how it has shaped our character, deepened our understanding, and prepared us for the challenges ahead. Pain's wisdom often reveals itself in hindsight, illuminating the path we've traveled. Importantly, viewing pain as a teacher does not mean glorifying suffering or seeking it out. It means acknowledging that when pain does arise, it carries a purpose. It is an opportunity to learn, grow, and evolve. By embracing this perspective, we empower ourselves to face pain with courage and openness. We shift from asking, "Why is this happening to me?" to asking, "What can I learn from this?" Pain, though unwelcome, is one of life's greatest teachers. It strips away illusions, challenges our limits, and pushes us toward transformation. It teaches us resilience, empathy, gratitude, and self-awareness. While we may never fully escape pain, we can choose how we respond to it. By accepting its lessons, we turn pain into a source of strength and wisdom, allowing it to shape us into more compassionate, courageous, and authentic individuals. Through this process, we come to understand that pain is not an enemy, but a guide, one that helps us navigate the complexities of life and discover our truest selves. Trust and risk are inseparable companions on the journey of life. Trust is a leap into the unknown, a willingness to believe in someone or something without absolute certainty. Risk is the inherent vulnerability that comes with stepping into that uncertainty. Together, they form a dynamic duo that shapes relationships, careers, and personal growth. When we understand and embrace the interplay between trust and risk, we unlock a deeper level of connection, achievement, and self-discovery. Trust requires courage. It demands that we let go of control and open ourselves to the possibility of being let down. Whether it's trusting a friend with a secret, a business partner with a joint venture, or even trusting ourselves to pursue a dream, there's always an element of risk involved. This vulnerability is what makes trust so powerful. Without risk, trust would have no meaning. It would be a mere transaction rather than an act of faith. Risk, in turn, is the test of trust. It is the moment when we step beyond our comfort zone and place our confidence in something uncertain. Every decision we make, be it in relationships, careers, or personal endeavors, carries some level of risk. Choosing to trust means acknowledging this uncertainty and deciding that the potential rewards outweigh the possible losses. It's a gamble, yes, but it's one that can lead to profound growth and connection. In relationships, trust and risk are the foundation of intimacy. To truly connect with another person, we must risk being seen for who we really are, flaws, insecurities, and all. Trusting someone means allowing them into our most vulnerable spaces, knowing they have the power to hurt us, but believing they won't. This level of openness fosters deep bonds, but it's not without its challenges. Sometimes trust is broken, and the risk feels like a mistake. Yet even in those moments, there are lessons to be learned. Broken trust can teach us about boundaries, forgiveness, and the resilience of the human heart. In the realm of personal growth, trust and risk are the catalyst for transformation. Every step forward requires a measure of trust in ourselves and a willingness to take risks. Starting a new job, moving to a different city, or pursuing a long-held dream, all of these endeavors require us to trust in our abilities and take the leap into the unknown. Without risk, we remain stagnant, clinging to the familiar and avoiding the discomfort of uncertainty. But when we trust ourselves enough to take risks, we discover strengths and opportunities we never knew existed. The interplay between trust and risk is also evident in professional settings. Successful leaders understand that fostering trust within a team requires taking calculated risks. Delegating responsibilities, investing in new ideas, or supporting innovation, all of these actions involve a degree of uncertainty. Yet it's through these risks that businesses grow and thrive. Similarly, employees who trust their leaders and colleagues are more likely to take risks, share ideas, and collaborate effectively. This mutual trust creates a culture of innovation and progress. Despite the undeniable connection between trust and risk, many people hesitate to embrace this dynamic. Fear of failure, rejection, or betrayal can hold us back, making it difficult to trust or take risks. It's natural to want to protect ourselves from pain, but this fear often leads to missed opportunities and unfulfilled potential. To break free from this cycle, we must reframe our perspective on trust and risk. But instead of viewing them as threats, we can see them as opportunities for growth and connection. One way to build trust and manage risk is to start small. Trust doesn't have to be an all-or-nothing proposition. It can be built incrementally. By taking small risks and observing the outcomes, we can develop confidence in ourselves and others. Over time, these small acts of trust create a solid foundation that makes larger risks feel more manageable. Additionally, learning to communicate openly and set clear boundaries can help mitigate the risks associated with trust. Transparency fosters understanding, while boundaries provide a sense of security. It's also important to remember that trust and risk are not guarantees of success or happiness. There will be times when trust is misplaced or risks don't pay off, but even in these moments, there is value to be found. Every experience, whether positive or negative, offers an opportunity for growth. Failed risks teach us resilience, while broken trust teaches us discernment. These lessons, though often hard-earned, equip us to navigate future challenges with greater wisdom and strength. Ultimately, trust and risk are essential elements of a fulfilling life. They push us to connect, grow, and pursue our dreams. Without trust, we isolate ourselves from others. Without risk, we stagnate in the face of fear. Together, they create a dynamic that propels us forward, encouraging us to embrace uncertainty and discover what's possible. When we learn to trust and take risks, we open ourselves to a world of potential, one where the rewards far outweigh the challenges. Healing is not a linear journey. It is a process that unfolds in waves, often shaped by our perspective. While the pain of emotional, physical, or psychological wounds can feel overwhelming, the lens through which we view our struggles plays a significant role in our ability to move forward. Perspective has the power to transform suffering into growth, despair into hope, and chaos into clarity. True healing requires not just time, but a deliberate effort to shift how we interpret and internalize our experiences. Perspective begins with acceptance. To heal, we must first acknowledge the reality of our pain. Denying or suppressing it only prolongs the suffering, creating a barrier between ourselves and the relief we seek. Acceptance does not mean resignation. It means recognizing the truth of what has happened without judgment. It is a courageous act that allows us to face our wounds head-on, providing the foundation for growth. When we stop resisting the pain and instead accept it as part of our journey, we create space for healing to begin. Understanding that pain is part of life is another critical aspect of perspective. No one escapes hardship, and suffering is a universal experience. By recognizing this shared humanity, we can feel less isolated in our struggles. It helps us to see pain not as a punishment or personal failing, but as a natural part of existence. This shift in perspective can be deeply empowering, reminding us that we are not alone and that others have overcome similar challenges. In this shared understanding, we find strength and compassion for ourselves and for others. Perspective also requires us to look beyond the immediate discomfort and see the bigger picture. Often, pain narrows our focus, making it difficult to see anything beyond the hurt. However, when we step back and take a broader view, we can begin to understand the lessons that our experiences are teaching us. Every challenge carries the potential for growth, and every wound can lead to wisdom. Whether it's learning resilience, cultivating empathy, or gaining clarity about our values, pain has the power to shape us in profound ways. This growth does not erase the pain, but gives it purpose, allowing us to find meaning even in the midst of hardship. Healing also involves reframing our narrative. The stories we tell ourselves about our pain significantly impact our ability to recover. If we view ourselves as victims of circumstances beyond our control, we may feel powerless and stuck. But if we see ourselves as survivors or even as individuals who can thrive despite adversity, we reclaim our agency. Reframing doesn't mean ignoring the reality of what happened. It means choosing to focus on the strength we've gained rather than the losses we've endured. It is an act of empowerment that transforms pain from something that happened to us into something we can grow from. Gratitude is another perspective that plays a powerful role in healing. While it may seem counterintuitive to practice gratitude in the midst of suffering, focusing on the aspects of life that bring joy or comfort can help balance the weight of pain. Gratitude does not negate our struggles, but provides a reminder that even in difficult times, there is still goodness to be found. Whether it's the support of a loved one, the beauty of nature, or the small victories along the way, cultivating gratitude helps us see that life is not defined solely by our hardships. Perspective also means embracing patience and self-compassion. Healing takes time, and there is no set timeline for recovery. It's easy to become frustrated when progress feels slow or when setbacks occur, but these moments are a natural part of the process. Viewing healing as a journey rather than a destination can help us remain patient with ourselves. Self-compassion is equally important. We must learn to treat ourselves with the same kindness and understanding that we would offer a friend. By being gentle with ourselves, we create an environment that fosters healing rather than hinders it. Lastly, healing through perspective involves letting go of the need for control. Pain often stems from situations that are beyond our control, and holding on to the desire to change the past or dictate the future can keep us trapped in suffering. When we surrender the need to control and instead focus on what we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we free ourselves to move forward. This surrender is not about giving up, but about finding peace in the present moment, even as we work toward healing. Healing requires us to look beyond the surface of our pain and delve into the deeper truths it reveals. By shifting our perspective, we can transform our struggles into opportunities for growth, connection, and self-discovery. It is not an easy process, but it is a profoundly rewarding one. When we approach healing with an open mind and heart, we find that even in our darkest moments, there is light to be found. And as our perspective expands, so too does our capacity to heal, to grow, and to embrace life in all its complexity. Forgiveness is often seen as a gift we give to others, but its greatest power lies in the liberation it brings to ourselves. Holding on to resentment, anger, or pain binds us to the very events or people that caused us harm, creating an emotional prison where we relive the hurt over and over again. Forgiveness, on the other hand, offers freedom, a way to release ourselves from the weight of the past and move forward with clarity, peace, and renewed strength. It is not about condoning wrongdoings or forgetting what happened. It is about choosing to let go for the sake of our own well-being. The journey to forgiveness begins with acknowledging the pain. Many of us suppress or deny our feelings, thinking that doing so will protect us from further hurt. But unacknowledged pain does not disappear, it festers, influencing our thoughts, relationships, and sense of self. By confronting and naming the hurt, we take the first step toward healing. This act of recognition is not an admission of weakness, but a powerful affirmation of our humanity. It allows us to face the truth of what happened and decide how we want to respond moving forward. Forgiveness requires us to understand that holding on to anger is not a weapon against those who hurt us. It is a burden we carry alone. While it may feel justified to cling to resentment, doing so often has little effect on the other person. They may be unaware of our feelings or have already moved on. Meanwhile, we remain stuck, replaying the hurt like a broken record. Forgiveness breaks this cycle. It is an act of self-care, a way to prioritize our emotional and mental health over the need for retribution or validation. One of the most powerful aspects of forgiveness is that it shifts our focus from the person or event that caused the pain to our own healing and growth. When we choose forgiveness, we take back control of our narrative. We stop defining ourselves by what happened and start creating a future based on our values, dreams, and potential. Forgiveness is not a passive act, it is an active decision to reclaim our power and refuse to let the past dictate our present. Forgiveness is also deeply connected to empathy. To forgive, we must try to understand the humanity of those who hurt us. This does not mean excusing their behavior or minimizing the impact of their actions. Instead, it involves recognizing that everyone is flawed and capable of making mistakes. People often hurt others out of their own pain, ignorance, or limitations. By acknowledging this, we can begin to release some of the anger and resentment that keeps us tied to the past. Empathy does not absolve others of accountability, but it can help us see them and ourselves with greater compassion. Forgiveness is a process, not a one-time decision. It often requires revisiting the pain and actively choosing to release it again and again. This can be challenging, especially when the hurt runs deep or the person responsible has not apologized. But each step toward forgiveness, no matter how small, brings us closer to freedom. It is important to be patient with ourselves during this process and to remember that forgiveness is not linear. There may be setbacks, but they do not erase the progress we have made. Forgiving others can also lead to a deeper understanding of ourselves. It encourages us to reflect on our own actions, beliefs, and boundaries. In doing so, we may uncover areas where we need to grow or heal. Forgiveness teaches us about resilience, empathy, and the strength it takes to choose love over bitterness. It is a profound reminder of our capacity for transformation and the infinite potential for renewal within us. It is also crucial to consider that forgiveness is not always about reconciliation. While forgiving someone may lead to mended relationships, in some cases it does not mean we are obligated to maintain or restore connections that are harmful or toxic. Forgiveness is about our internal state, not external circumstances. We can forgive someone while still choosing to set boundaries or distance ourselves from them. In this way, forgiveness and self-respect go hand in hand. In forgiving others, we often find it easier to extend the same grace to ourselves. Many of us carry guilt or shame for our own mistakes, holding on to them as if they define us. But self-forgiveness is just as vital as forgiving others. It allows us to let go of the past, learn from our experiences, and move forward without the burden of self-condemnation. When we forgive ourselves, we open the door to greater self-acceptance, inner peace, and the freedom to grow. Ultimately, forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves. It is an act of courage and strength, a declaration that we will not allow the pain of the past to dictate our future. By choosing forgiveness, we free ourselves from the chains of resentment and step into a life filled with peace, possibility, and purpose. It is not always easy, but it is always worth it. Through forgiveness, we find not only freedom, but also the profound realization that love, compassion, and understanding have the power to heal even the deepest wounds. Betrayal is one of life's most profound and painful experiences, but hidden within its sting lies an unparalleled opportunity for growth and transformation. While betrayal shakes the very foundation of trust and forces us to confront deep emotional wounds, it also has the power to ignite a journey of self-discovery, resilience, and strength. Growth through betrayal does not come easily, nor does it happen overnight, but the lessons it imparts can be some of the most meaningful we ever learn. The pain of betrayal often feels unbearable because it involves a rupture in trust, whether it's trust in another person, an institution, or even oneself. It can lead to feelings of shock, disbelief, and anger. However, in this storm of emotions, we are given a choice to remain in the shadow of our pain or to use it as a stepping stone toward greater understanding and growth. Pain, as difficult as it is to endure, can be a powerful teacher. It forces us to pause, reflect, and reevaluate our lives in ways we might not otherwise consider. One of the first lessons betrayal teaches us is about the fragility and importance of trust. When someone we care about violates our trust, it is easy to become cynical or guarded, vowing never to trust again. But growth through betrayal requires us to take a different path of discernment rather than distrust. It challenges us to rebuild our ability to trust, not blindly, but with wisdom and awareness. We learn to recognize the value of healthy boundaries, the importance of clear communication, and the necessity of self-respect in our relationships. Betrayal also offers an opportunity for self-reflection. In the aftermath of betrayal, it is natural to ask, why did this happen to me? While it is important not to blame ourselves for the actions of others, it is equally important to reflect on what the situation reveals about us. Are there patterns in our relationships that leave us vulnerable to betrayal? Are there warning signs we ignored? Are there aspects of our self-worth that need strengthening? By answering these questions honestly, we gain insight into our needs, values, and boundaries, empowering us to make better choices moving forward. Another significant aspect of growth through betrayal is the development of emotional resilience. Betrayal tests us in ways we never imagined, forcing us to confront feelings of abandonment, rejection, and loss. While it is tempting to numb these feelings or suppress them, true growth requires us to face them head-on. This process, though painful, helps us build resilience, the ability to recover from adversity and emerge stronger than before. Resilience is not about avoiding pain, but about learning how to move through it, adapt to it, and ultimately grow from it. Betrayal can also deepen our capacity for empathy and understanding. As we work through our own pain, we become more attuned to the struggles of others. This heightened empathy allows us to connect with people on a deeper level and fosters a sense of shared humanity. While it may seem counterintuitive, betrayal can open our hearts rather than close them. By choosing to grow rather than wallow in bitterness, we become more compassionate individuals who can extend grace to others, even those who have hurt us. Forgiveness is another transformative lesson that often arises from betrayal. Forgiveness is not about condoning the betrayal or forgetting what happened. It is about releasing ourselves from the chains of resentment, anger that keep us bound to the past. Forgiveness is a gift we give to ourselves, a way to reclaim our peace and move forward unburdened by the weight of old wounds. It is one of the most challenging but liberating acts of growth, allowing us to let go of pain and embrace a future filled with possibility. Betrayal also teaches us the importance of self-reliance. When trust is broken, we are often left questioning who or what we can depend on. This can be a painful realization, but it is also an opportunity to cultivate inner strength and self-sufficiency. By turning inward and rediscovering our own capabilities, we learn that we are more resilient and resourceful than we imagined. This newfound self-reliance not only helps us heal, but also equips us to face future challenges with confidence and grace. Finally, betrayal reminds us of the power of choice. While we cannot control the actions of others, we can control how we respond to them. We can choose to remain stuck in pain and bitterness, or we can choose to grow, heal, and transform. This act of choosing growth is empowering. It shifts the focus from what was done to us to what we can create for ourselves. It is a reminder that no matter how deep the wound, we always have the power to shape our own narrative. In the end, betrayal, as painful as it is, can become a catalyst for profound growth and transformation. It teaches us about trust, resilience, empathy, forgiveness, self-reliance, and the power of choice. It challenges us to look inward, to confront our vulnerabilities, and to rise stronger from the ashes of our pain. While we may not choose betrayal, we can choose how we respond to it, and in that choice lies the potential to turn one of life's greatest trials into one of its greatest triumphs.